Hey beauties, welcome back to the channel. Today I am doing my first TBR ever. I'm so freaking excited. So this is my first TBR ever, and I wanted to give my first TBR theme because we're getting close to the end of the year, you know, and then we'll be moving into the next year, guys. So for this first TBR, I wanted to do books I want to wrap up my year with. So two of the books I'm actually already reading, and then there's two books that I would like to actually read, which, to be fair, this book is way thicker than I thought it was going to be. So I'm a little intimidated, but we're going to go for it. So these are the two books I'm actually currently reading, and I'm actually about halfway through with this book. So basically, I want to end my year by reading these, and I think these will be a really nice, diverse selection, in my opinion, for me wrapping up my reading year. So, or my reading half of a year, really is what it's been. So the first book is So Good They Can't Ignore You: Why Skills Trump Passion in the Quest for Work You Love by Cal Newport. And this book is actually not mine. It actually belongs to my career services office on campus. But I saw it when I was sitting in there waiting on my career services appointment. And first of all, the title jumped out at me. I was like, So Good They Can't Ignore You. Like, okay, as a student, I just think this book is amazing. Honestly, I really do. And the thing is, I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I feel like if you are a student, especially if you're getting close to entering the work world, honestly, even as a freshman, I just think this book is amazing because I think it gives perspective. And I think that that's so important for us as students, right? Because it's like, we're in school, but our end goal is not to just be in school. Our end goal is to get into the workforce. And I feel like it's such a huge adjustment, like mentally, physically, emotionally, right? When you go from being a student to really jumping into the workforce. I would highly, highly recommend this book for any students. If you are in graduate school, check it out, read it. Undergrad, yes, like it's just really, it just offers a different perspective. And like I said, I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I do think that there is some truth to quite a bit of what he is saying. And for me, one of the biggest takeaways that I'm taking away from this book so far is that skills are important, right? Because the biggest thing I'm taking away is, how do we make ourselves marketable as students? Yes, we're gaining all of this experience, and that's important. But when we get ready to get on the job market, we have to show that we are marketable. And so how do you do that? How do you take what we're learning in the classroom and translate it into something that can be valuable on the job market? And that's one of the biggest takeaways that I'm getting so far from this book. And it's really a very interesting book. I am somebody who, I feel like I really love to read nonfiction, and this book really just grabbed my attention. And so I would like to finish reading this book. This is a book that I would actually consider purchasing because I think it's a good book to have in your library. And I would really like to be able to go back through and take notes and stuff like that. But I didn't want to mark up this book because it's not my book to mark up. So I am enjoying it so far, and eventually I think I'll probably do a wrap up, and that way I can be able to talk in depth about the book. The next book is more of a lighthearted read, but kind of action-packed. And so this is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and it is Cinder, which is a loose retelling of Cinderella. And basically this book is about a 16-year-old girl named Cinder, and it says she's a gifted mechanic and she's also a cyborg, hence check out that beautiful cover. And basically it says she's a second-class citizen with a mysterious past and is reveled by her stepmother. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai's, she suddenly finds herself at the center of an intergalactic struggle and a forbidden attraction. Caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal, she must uncover secrets about her past in order to protect her world's future. Because there is something unusual about Cinder, something that others would kill for. It sounds really, really interesting. There's 4 books in this series, and so I cannot wait to get farther into the series. But I really don't want to go into 2017 having not started the series. And I'm reading it so far, and I'm just like, I knew I would love it, because my favorite, like, I guess Disney movie would probably be Mulan. I just love Mulan. But when it comes to Cinderella, it's just something about the story of Cinderella. I feel like I always have to watch it. I don't care how many times it's retold, I just have to watch it. Like, there was a Cinderella story, the one with Hilary Duff, then there was another one with Selena Gomez, and I just had to watch them all. So this, I was like, a Cinderella retelling. Yeah, you'll get that. So I'm enjoying this so far. Now these other two books are actually library checkout, so neither of these books are mine, and I don't plan to start them until I finish the first two books I just showed you. And so I'll start with this. This is Letters to a Young Poet by, where's the guy's name? By Rainer Maria Rilke. I hope I'm saying the name right. Again, everything will be listed down below. And this book, what it made me think of is Letters to a Young Brother by Hill Harper. I actually have that book and I own it, and it is one of my favorite books. I absolutely love that book. And I remember years ago him referencing this book and talking about this book in terms of the impact that it had on him when he started to write that book. And so I figured, since I love that book so much, let me go back to the foundation where he even got the idea from, and let me read this book. Also, as someone who writes poetry and who wants to get more into poetry, I would love to publish some of my poetry. For the first time last year, yes, for the first time last year, I did spoken word, and I want to get more into spoken word. I just felt like this was a book I needed to read. So I will update you guys and let you know how I like it. And then the final book is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I believe that this is called is it a historical classic or a classic? Y'all let me know. I'm new to booktube. But basically, this is Jane Eyre. I've heard so much about this story, and I was just like, okay, I need to read this. Now, let me say, I didn't know Jane Eyre was gonna be this big. I'm a little intimidated, only because in my mind it's already November. I'm supposed to be graduating soon, and I'm just like, oh. So, you know, but we are just going to step into fear, and we're going to go for it, and we're going to read it. So I don't know a whole lot of book. I don't know a whole lot about this book. All I really know is that we're following the main character, Jane Eyre, and I believe it's kind of a coming of age story in a way, because we're just following her development and her really learning who she is, I believe, and also learning who she is as a woman. But I don't really know a whole lot about it. Besides that, I really don't want to know a whole lot more. It just, from what I've heard, it sounds like the type of story that I would love. I love those stories where characters go on this like journey of self-improvement and self-discovery, and it's just like such a moving story, and they learn so much about their self, because I think that's important, and because I'm somebody who I feel like I'm always working on self-improvement, right, and always trying to be the best version of myself. And so those stories usually really hit home for me. So yeah, I'm excited to read this story. And that's it, just 4 books. That's what I would like to wrap up my year with. I know that might seem ambitious to some people, but like I said, I'm about halfway through this book, and I just started this book. Like my marker, I'll show you where it is if I can pull it out. I'm on page 77 of Cinder, so like right there, so not very far at all. And I just dipped into this book because I couldn't contain myself. So I'm really hoping to get through these books. I mean, if I don't, it won't be like I'm disappointed in myself, but if I'm able to finish these books to wrap up my year, that would be awesome. And then I have a lot of ideas for videos that I want to do, bookish videos that I want to do for next year. I'm so excited about this, and I'm just so thankful and so blessed that I've rediscovered this love for reading. So I hope you will join me on this journey. The channel will still have a variety of content. I'm not leaving the beauty community behind. I love beauty. I mean, come on. We need to talk about this lipstick I got on anyway. So I'm not leaving that community, but I'm just adding this component to my channel because it is such a huge part of me. And I feel like it's a part of me that I had forgotten about, and I don't want to do that. Like it almost like I feel complete in a different way now, you know? So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now and let you go. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I hope you will come back. Bye.